I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here? I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired.
So guess what? Taraji P. Henson is making headlines once again. This time, fans are accusing her of stirring up drama and controversy around the film The Color Purple. They're blaming her for the movie's flop, and she's facing some serious backlash. It's crazy how fans can go from praising her 1 minute to hating on her the next. It's not just Oprah trying to blackball her. Fans are jumping on the cancellation bandwagon too. Looks like Taraji's career might take a nasty hit.
Look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears. But she's trying to be professional, but she leans into Oprah. Oprah pulls away. Fake laugh. We all
I know it's been a while since we last talked about Taraji P and all the drama surrounding The Color Purple. A lot of people may think that the drama is finally settling down, but actually it's quite the opposite. Just because it's not a hot topic anymore doesn't mean things aren't still happening behind the scenes for Taraji. Fans are really giving her a hard time, accusing her of ruining the movie. And it's not just fans, even producers are reportedly giving her a lot of hate and allegedly making threats. Now, let's go back to the beginning. This whole drama started when Taraji spoke up about the huge pay gap in the industry and how she's been constantly undervalued and underpaid for years. It's a really important conversation that needs to be had because it's still a big issue in Hollywood. From what I've heard, Black artists, especially Black women, often get the short end of the stick when it comes to getting paid. That's why you see so many Black women still struggling to get what they deserve, even though they're considered legends. Even someone like Viola Davis, who has achieved EGOT status, meaning she's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, which are 4 of the highest awards in Hollywood, has had to deal with this kind of stuff. Can you believe it? Even after winning all those amazing accolades, she still has to fight for what she rightfully deserves. It's just crazy how unfair things can be in the industry, don't you think?
What they're getting paid, which is half of what a man is getting paid, well, we get probably a tenth of what a Caucasian woman gets. And I'm number 1 on the call sheet. And then I have to go in and I have to hustle for my work. Yeah, but you can't compare me to you. Because once again, I got the Oscar, I got the Emmy, I got the 2 Tonys. I've done Broadway, I've done off-Broadway, I've done TV, I've done film, I've done all of it. I have a career that's probably comparable to Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, Sigourney Weaver. They all came out of Yale. They came out of Juilliard. They came out of NYU. They had the same path as me, and yet I am nowhere near them. Not as far as money, not as far as job opportunities, nowhere close to it. And yet, I have to constantly get on that phone, and I have fabulous agents, by the way. They are getting it. But I have to get on that phone, and people say, "You're a Black Meryl Streep." You are, and we love you. We love you. There is no one like you. Okay, then if there's no one like me, you think I'm that? You pay me what I'm worth.
Imagine being told that you're one of the best, but then they don't pay you like it. Listen, Hollywood is a tough place, and that's why this conversation is so important. People weren't too bothered when Taraji brought up the topic and spoke about it. The problem was that she brought it up while she was supposed to be promoting the movie. And even though she didn't do it out of spite, the conversation just naturally went there, and it ended up reflecting poorly on the movie. The first time she talked about it was at a SAG-AFTRA event where she discussed how she's still underpaid in the industry. She even claimed that it's been more than 5 years since she saw a raise because she's been earning the same as she did back in 2018 when she worked on Proud Mary. Now, as shocking as that is, the real shocker was when she said she was lowballed for her role as Sue Avery in The Color Purple. Her paycheck was so low that she almost turned down the role completely.
I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. I almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this?
So get this. It was the very first time she opened up about it, but let me tell you, it definitely wasn't the last. She was seriously bothered and upset about the whole thing. And guess what? In another interview with Gayle King, she was so upset that she straight up broke down in tears. Can you believe it? She was talking about how frustrated she was with the industry and how they were treating her. I mean, it was so bad that she even mentioned the possibility of leaving the industry for good. Crazy, right?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired.
Now, here's the scoop. Taraji was sharing her personal experience in the industry, and let me tell you, it blew up. She didn't mean for it to become such a huge issue, but boy, did it ignite a fire. It all started when she was promoting The Color Purple and started talking about her own experiences. Next thing we knew, it sparked a major conversation about how Black actresses in The Color Purple were being treated. And guess what? Gabrielle Union and other Black actresses echoed the same sentiment.
I'm a Black actress and producer in Hollywood. Of course, I'm going to have to work until it's the end. Because we can't retire. We don't make enough.
Okay, so here's the tea. This whole thing blew up out of nowhere, and suddenly everyone was talking about this scandal instead of the actual movie. And when they did talk about the movie, it was all about how Oprah was throwing shade at Balaji. Can you believe it? People started dragging Oprah on social media, accusing her of being anti-Black and hating on her fellow Black women. It was a tense situation, and things only got worse when fans noticed some serious tension between Taraji and Oprah at a public event to promote the movie.
Did you think you could escape? No.
So Taraji, girl, she's claiming that the producers didn't want to hire drivers for the cast. Can you believe that? She had to really fight for it because she said it was unsafe for her. And you know what? She's right. They gave them rental cars, and she was like, hold up, I can't be driving myself to set in Atlanta. That's a whole insurance liability. It's dangerous. Can you imagine? They out here robbing people, I swear. And let me tell you, Oprah was catching heat for all this drama. It got even worse when Taraji tried to defend her. She was like, Miss Oprah has been a steady and solid beacon of light to all of us in the Color Purple cast. She even said Oprah provided encouragement, guidance, and unwavering support. Taraji reached out to her personally, and Oprah was like, anything you need, girl, hit me up. And she did. She made one call, had one conversation, and that's all it took for her to feel HT. You know what I mean? She thanked Miss Oprah for everything she does. But you know what the fans said? They were like, Taji, were you silent or silenced? Are you scared of being blackballed like Monique? They ain't buying it, but hey, they still support her. Rumor has it that Oprah was gonna blackball her just like she did Monique. You remember that whole mess, right? Monique fell out with Oprah over Precious, and Oprah wanted her to do a press run, but Monique said, nah, I'm good. And word on the streets is Oprah went all out to get her blackballed. So when Taraji started talking about her treatment on the Color Purple set, it blew up everything. Instead of people being excited about the movie, they were talking about how a movie produced by a black woman treated black actresses poorly. It got even messier when Danielle Brooks and Fantasia spoke up about the crazy work conditions they went through. No lunch on Saturday, no private dressing rooms. They were all crammed into one big room. It wasn't until Taraji stood up and talked to Oprah that things started to change. They all agreed Oprah did her best to fix things once she knew what was going on.
I remember when we first came in and we were doing rehearsal and they put us all in the same space. Like, we didn't have our own dressing rooms at the time, and they did not give us it. Sorry, Miss O, we ain't had no food.
She had no idea.
She didn't know what was going on.
She had no idea.
I heard about it.
Oh, yeah.
And you corrected it for us. You corrected it.
Didn't I call you?
Yes, and I was like, Miss O, we gotta fix this. And she said, say less.
Now, Oprah also had an interview where she flatly denied being in control of the budget, claiming that it was all Warner Brothers' responsibility. She made it clear that she was receiving a regular salary just like everyone else involved in the movie.
I would just like to say about this whole Taraji, I heard I was trending yesterday because people are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind-the-scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. So whenever I heard that there was something that people needed, I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio system works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by...
Now, this is where fans started to turn on Raji and accuse her of diverting the attention away from the movie and onto herself. She was dragged for filth on social media, and it got even worse when the movie flopped. Fans believe that it was all because of Taji and her comments during that press run. There seems to be this belief that Taraji's negative comments during the press run that was supposed to promote the movie ended up doing the exact opposite. It made people uninterested in seeing the movie because of all the bad press. The movie ended up grossing about $65 million less than the $100 million budget, which put it right in the category of being a colossal flop because it didn't even pull in the budget. The producers know it too because they immediately started making moves to salvage and mitigate the loss as best as they could. They sent the movie straight to DVD and direct streaming. The only reason they did this is because they're trying to recoup some of their losses, because they know that nobody's gonna want to see the movie anymore. But if you think that those numbers are low, well, it gets worse than we think. According to an insider, the studio has been cooking up numbers to hype just how messy the situation is, because the actual number is way less than we know. The insider said The Color Purple made less than $12 million in the opening weekend and has to date grossed $58 million. That gross $58 million number does not go to the studios. One studio executive explained that the studio will only get about $24 million, and the other half will go to the theater that showed the film. With a budget of $100 million plus marketing, the film has, as of now, lost at least $75 million. In situations like this, somebody has to take the fall. According to the source, that somebody in this case is Taraji because the studio execs are holding her responsible. The insider said executives blame Taraji Henson for derailing the promotional efforts of the film and using it as a selfish opportunity to change her personal narrative as an aging, underpaid actress. But while Taji is taking some heat, so is Oprah for not controlling the legendary actress. Well, Taraji started to realize just how much damage her comments had done, so she tried to draw attention back to the movie, saying, "I hope we can focus back on this film because right now, to me, it feels like what I said is now becoming louder than this beautiful film, and that's not fair to me or anybody in the film." Unfortunately, it was already way past too late at that point, and the movie had already flopped. Fans were coming for her and dragging her. They came for her, saying stuff like, I am all for Taraji sharing her issues, but I think the timing is off. All of this negative press took away from the film, and now that The Color Purple is a flop, that will not help her argument for higher pay with these studio and movie executives. Taraji really ruined The Color Purple. Good luck with future bookings. But this other person thinks that it doesn't have to do with Taraji at all, saying The Color Purple movie sucked. Actually, it has nothing to do with Taraji. It was always going to be a flop. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, and there's definitely two sides to this story. But what do you guys think? Is Taraji really to be blamed for the movie flopping, or do you think that it was going to flop regardless? Let me know what you think in the comments, and then check out this next video.
Boy.